I'd like to call to order today's meeting of the Town of Rome Community Development Authority, Thursday, January 18th, 2024 at 3 o'clock p.m. I would like to have a roll call from my left, please.
Jamadi here.
Evenson,
Schermerhorn.
Williams here.
and we have Jackie online with us right now. Thank you. Could we have the certification posting of today's meeting, please?
That would be Wendy. Did she supply you with any of this?
Yep, let me see here. Let's see here. On Wendy Newsom provided certification that on Monday, January 15th, 2024, the agenda for the Town of Rome Community Development Authority meeting for Thursday, January 18th, 2024, was posted at the Town of Rome Hall, 3:15 p.m., posted at Quick Trip LLC at 4:30 p.m., posted at Nakusa Port Edward State Bank at 4:20 p.m., and emailed to the Wisconsin Rapids Tribune at 3:25 p.m. And then for today's agenda, can we get an approval of the agenda for today, please?
So moved.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Okay. Thank you. Motion carried then. Citizens' comments? Were there any comment cards submitted? No? All right, then we'll go on. Information updates, meeting recaps, recent correspondence, current events, announcements. Should we start with you, Lori?
Sure. I would like to just share that I had talked with Jackie earlier in the fall about we'll talk about an ad hoc committee at the board level, and we had talked about economic development, which is actually increasing more and more town-wide. With WEDC, there's opportunities as well as with new businesses and housing. There's a great interest with a number of different housing developments in around the town and in the Rome Town Center. With the CDA, we've had difficulty meeting and with matching with a quorum, and with the boundaries and set by state statute. It broadens us if we would go with an economic development committee, and that gives us much more ability to broaden ourselves beyond just the Rome Town Center and beyond those statutes that are set and the limitations. And so I had a very good discussion with Jackie earlier in the fall, as with Chair Cheryl Evenson. However, it was brought to my attention then that it was evolved into something that it certainly wasn't. So hopefully we can have additional discussions with different specialists that the town board had approved us to contract with, and we've got some information that we have here today that we can maybe go over later in the conversation about land use and that sort of thing. And I did bring some information we can share on what a economic development committee looks like, that the WEDC, which is the Wisconsin Economic Development Commission, works with other committees with towns and villages across the state. So I'll just pass these down and we can share. This is just a rough idea of what those look like. And that's just an idea of what something would look like, and it would bring different representatives, not necessarily just from our area. It's getting harder and harder to recruit members within the town, a number of committees. We talked about this at a board retreat in August or September. We had a facilitator come in from UW in Madison, helped us talk about invigorating our boards, committees, and commissions, because we posted it early in May, and we had no applicants for the Utilities Commission. We had no applicants for CDA. We had some for Plan Commission, none for the Library Board. We just posted again for Library. Only had one applicant, which was a returning member. So it's something that we want to talk about, and I'm going to talk with the board about having an ad hoc committee. And I think this is something that would be exciting for us to do, and we can have a facilitator come in and help us with that as well. So we do have specialists for land use and economic development, and there's other exciting things happening. So just have a look at it, and it's something we can talk about.
All right, great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Jeff, do you have anything?
I do not.
Sharon?
No.
Jackie, do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, nothing to add today, no news.
Alrighty. I have nothing at this time, so then we'll move on to the approval of the July 20th, 2023 Community Development Authority meeting minutes. Can I get an approval of those minutes, please?
I motion to approve the minutes.
I second it.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Me again?
Aye.
So moved, thank you. Discussion and possible recommendation to town board. Identify land utilization priority areas in Rome Town Center for evaluation and feedback by land use and development.
Tee that up. Code, you recognize Nick? He has some information to share.
Sure, I can if that would be all right.
Please.
Thank you, everybody, and good afternoon. So, just to give some general background into this and maybe some next steps to then kind of go from here with. So as you may recall, recently the town has spent considerable time going through its planning documents, and so for example, just in 2023 into 2024, we went through a comprehensive review of our comprehensive plan. We've gone through the steps of our strategic plan, and our corp is currently being looked at. In a similar fashion, as you are likely aware, we have a design plan with our Rome Town Center that is probably time to take a look at that as well. The town has brought in a consultant that is going to assist with some of that. Sam Schultz, and I believe the information may have been provided previously to you, but we're now at the point where Mr. Schultz is going to assist us with some of that review. And so he's kind of given us a roadmap into how he foresees us going through that design plan, and some of the feedback steps, the points in time where the feedback steps would be requested. And so what he's identified is really two overarching steps in his review of that. One is drafting a priority projects list, and second, a fiscal analysis worksheet. But as we look through the priority projects list, what he's looking for is feedback on priority projects and focus areas for the Rome Town Center. So, as this as CDA looks through the design plan, it'd be helpful to take a look at the design plan, provide any additional goals and objectives, not unlike what we did with the comp plan, right? You're kind of going through that, saying, oh, maybe we should strengthen this, adjust some of these goals and objectives that we have in that design plan. That's one of the steps there. It can also go to design standards, right? Because that design plan is really a visioning document that fuels our regulations. And the consultant really said the same thing. The goal there is to take that visioning document, the design plan, as we update it, and then possibly utilize that to create certain tools for development decision making. That's really a different way of saying that we use our visioning document, as we should, to fuel our regulations and what we want to see in set regulations for what we want to see in Rome Town Center.
Mm-hmm.
So really, this is really more of an introduction. It's time at this point that the consultant is going to be working with us through the review and possible updates to our design plan. Over the next month, it would be helpful, I think, to maybe familiarize yourself with that design plan, identify any areas that may be worth taking a look at and maybe revising, adding to, adjusting altogether if we want to do that. And then I think if we can, have some kind of central spot to send that feedback to in the same way that we did with our comp plan, and then that can be provided to the town board, who will be working with Sam Schultz on doing the update to the plan.
That was this document, which we all should have a
Mhm.
copy of that.
Yep.
Yep, so it's been a little while since we've last adjusted it, so just like we did with those other plans that I mentioned in over 2023, 2024, it's a good opportunity to take a look at that plan as well. Recognize it's a visioning document, so that can change and evolve over time. So if we want to make adjustments to it, now is the opportunity to do that.
It would also go through the plan commission because it does involve our wayfinding signs that we've talked about multiple times as well. That would be part of the plan. So if you could go through it and compile your thoughts on what you see as changes to this document, the land use in there, because like we've also talked about, we can't grow more land in here, so we have to use it wisely, what we have left, that we can, you know, and how we use it and how we would go forward. Last night, the town board also re-engaged MSA, agreed to that, as how we're gonna reimagine that initial park plan we had with where the band shell is and where the pickleball courts might go. So that original park planner that helped us with the splash pad and that park area and how we would go moving forward with that park planning was re-engaged last night. So it's all coming to fruition as to how all of this is going to happen moving forward. So all of those voices coming together to help us do this, it's important that we do that now. And Sam, you can go out and you have this information here. He is the economic community planner down for the Village of Mount Pleasant in southeast Wisconsin, and is very engaged down there. So we're very fortunate to have him on board, and the town board agreed to do that. So we should use this time wisely. So if you could take a look at this document, it would be helpful.
Absolutely. And is there, Sam's information that he's been compiling and sharing, is there a document or anything for us to read over as just something, just part of the town board?
Sure, so at this point, the document to read over would be the design plan. So really, we really are very early in this, in that
Okay.
He has asked to kind of set up a phone call for a launch and kind of talking through the timeline.
Okay.
We haven't even gotten to that part yet,
Okay.
so really he hasn't compiled a document yet. We are at the really the outset of this to provide that feedback,
Okay.
so he can utilize that. So as more is shared with us as far as timeline, certainly that'll be shared with you all, and then as those documents are prepared and shared with the town board, I would suspect that you'll be provided that as well for awareness.
Same thing with the plan commission. So it would go through each of those bodies as it did with the corp, as it did with strategic planning.
Yep, go from step to step, all right, thank you.
This gentleman here, the other piece of paper you have, is the gentleman that helped us with our zoning hub, which will have our launch at the end of this month. It helps with our zoning code. He will help us with our zoning audit, which starts in February.
Yep, so we do it more as I guess situational awareness on that piece. We do have on the agenda a kind of a launch point on the zoning code audit piece with Tim, and so that'll be on the next plan commission meeting agenda, so we can get an update to the plan commissioners as far as that's concerned, get some of their feedback, and also talk about timeline in that regard. I believe he had set a few months as a timeline to get the initial audit done on that, but that will be taking place as well.
And that'll be going through the plan commission. We have three key areas the plan commission talked about that we would start with, the initial conversation.
Yeah, yep, so and it's a good example because it's kind of the same idea as what we're kind of proposing here. So the plan commission had some of those discussions and identified kind of priority areas or focus areas that they wanted to closely examine as that zoning code audit took place, and ones that stood out were uses, permitted and conditional uses in districts, just making sure there's consistency across districts in our regulations, and also that the permitted and conditional uses are the ones that we want to be reflected in those specific districts.
Thank you. Is there anything else on this subject then for right now? Okay, we'll put that on for the next agenda then too as well.
Did anybody have any questions?
What did, when we were doing announcements and you passed this out, you were saying that would talk about it more when we talk about land use?
Some ideas about how an economic committee, we would evolve into an economic committee, because we're somewhat confined by statutory limitations as to how a CDA works versus how an economic committee allows us more membership, greater membership, so we're not, so it broadens our ability to do more. So we can have realtors and we can have more membership, we can have a broader stance on the townwide development, housing, there's more land use, not so much the regulation, but how the town evolves going forward, more involvement with Visit Rome, being members of our board, more communication. So the two bodies, no, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I'm just saying that to make sure that you are proposing that the CDA would no longer exist.
It would evolve into community development.
Right, but the CDA itself, that it would go away, is what this is all about.
That's what I would,
Okay.
thought she said, yeah, okay. Just double check.
I'm sorry, go ahead then, finish up.
No, but does that help clear? It would evolve into a body that would be larger, there would be more input, it would broaden the view and the ability for town-wide growth and development. So you'd have more business, people from broader fields that would be represented. Sometimes we have difficulty we have difficulty recruiting people, greater voices. People, you often hear, well, how do I get involved? I don't live in town, but I have a business there. You know, like the man who owns the boat barn doesn't live here, but he's got a business here. Or, I'm just using that as an example, or a person who lives here, and I'm just using those as examples. It just gives us more ability to represent more people that are involved in our community. So it's educators or.
Sure, and so the next step, all right, so we're talking about two different things, right? I mean, the land use thing,
Not really, I mean,
You're saying with what I
right.
Definitely.
Yeah, okay.
right,
So, so my, all right, but then we're definitely off agenda here.
yeah, we are. That was just a side
Okay.
thing under informational updates. That's just
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay, then I'm sorry
That
for,
could be something for another.
yeah, then can we definitely put this
Yeah,
on the next
definitely put some on
agenda?
the next agenda, absolutely.
Discuss it? Okay, thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Any other questions then on the Sam Schultz and the land use and development?
Do you want to bring feedback? Do we want to have a focal point? We can send feedback.
Sure. I don't want to volunteer somebody, but Taylor would be a good central point, just to at least, just to receive them. Otherwise, I can, but I mean, it just,
Well,
there just
Taylor,
needs to
we
be
can have-
some
be the focal.
central, some central email that you can just send that, and then her and I can work to compile the list and then provide that back to you.
Could Taylor be introduced?
Oh, certainly. This is Taylor, everybody. No.
Cheryl.
Taylor, this is everybody. No, go ahead.
Don't know Taylor.
I was recently hired in the zoning department as an administrative assistant support specialist.
Well, welcome.
Oh, welcome. Welcome.
Nice to meet you. Sorry, I didn't know who she was.
And I apologize, I shouldn't have,
Yeah,
I
we
should
should
have assumed
have,
that
we
you
just
did.
took it, yeah, we're sorry, we're so used to Taylor already, she's one of,
So there's two ways of reaching Taylor from an email standpoint, as I understand it. You can send it to zoning@rowanwi.com, or, and I'm not gonna spell the last name.
I have a crazy last name and I can provide it to you afterwards.
Okay.
Zoning,
Yeah.
zoning.
Yeah.
I can spell
teach them
zoning.
how you taught me, cause it worked really well. Oh,
My last name is Ochinsky and it's Ochinsky.
Yeah, just exactly the
Oh,
way it
that's
sounds.
not bad.
Just do zoning.
Yeah.
Zoning is easy.
but that's well, you can introduce yourselves, tell her who you are.
I'm Jeff Williams. I used to be on the planning commission also, and I'm also on the grant committee. That's what I do for a living. I write grants, basically.
Well, you're gonna be on a new grant committee, cause that grant committee was you.
Yeah, it
It was
was.
you. There's gonna be a different grant committee. That's why I'm talking about an ad hoc to create and evolve.
Well, I thought
and
it was-
invigorate new committees.
I thought it was funny. The first grant committee meeting I went to was me and Carl.
Yeah, so
and
there's
so
gonna be a different
that was
grant.
the committee that Carl
That's what
set
I'm
up.
talking about, yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. We had, back to informational updates, off topic, but back to we're gonna look at an ad hoc committee to reinvigorate our committees, so, and that's
Hi, Taylor. My name is Sharon Schermerhorn, and I have been a resident of Rome for over 20 some years, and it's just nice to meet you. Welcome.
You too, thank you.
Cheryl Evenson, how you doing?
Tell her what you do for a living.
Oh, I own Evenson's Marine, my husband and I do, so if you're
Okay.
interested in boating at all, give me a call.
And
All right, well then, so zoning at roamwi.com is where we'll
Yes.
send them. Thank you very much, thank you. All right. And to move on then, the Community Development Authority may go into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin Stat Section 19.85, subsection 1, subsection E, for deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining.
I'll move that we go into closed session subject to, or closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Stat Section 19.85 sub 1 sub E for deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining, to consider an offer to purchase 3.67 acres currently a part of 0300065600005 in the Rome Town Center.
Second.
All in favor?
No, you gotta do a roll call vote.
Oh, I'm sorry, roll call vote, please, from my left.
Jamadi, yes?
Evenson, yes?
Schermerhorn, yes.
Williams, yes.
Okay, so moved.
Oh, yes, but then, I'll drop out because I can't participate in closed session.
All right, Jackie, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Enjoy the sun and the warm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give these to you then, because these are your copies to keep. We'll need this map for just a minute and then you'll get it back. Are you coming with us? Because you can take the, I don't know, minutes in closed session. That was key.
Thanks for using WebEx. Visit our website at www.webex.
this is yours then, okay, and, but we'll make copies for.
Okay.
Okay.
Everybody ready?
I think so. Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to come out of closed session.
I'll
right.
second.
Okay, all in favor, we go
Roll
roll
call.
call from my left, please.
Jumati, yes.
Stevenson, yes?
Schermerhorn, yes.
Williams, yes.
Okay, that motion carried. Thank you.
On the subject of the purchase offer, I make a motion to decline the purchase offer because of the segmented, how it segments the apartment buildings, and also because it's not, this purchase would not be within our vision of the town center.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. All right, then, discussion and possible action, draft directional sign for Rome Town Center. This is the one on Alpine, correct? What we were discussing before?
So that's to match the big one coming in off of 13, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought we decided that we weren't gonna,
All it went to was, it went back to the sign company. Jamie had sent it back because we had it with lighting and all that kind of stuff. So she was gonna reduce it way down, make it just a small basic sign with just the picture on it with that's the entrance and nothing else. And we never heard back on anything further on that.
all right. You know what I can do is for our next agenda, Jason and I could check with Brad and see if he had gotten any, cause the last bill we got was the one for the wrapping of the big sign. And we have we got the money from Vibrant Spaces to pay for that. But there was confusion with that bill, remember? There was just enough money from the Vibrant Spaces grant to pay for the wrapping of the big sign.
Okay.
There's no additional monies to pay for another sign. So we can review what's in the budget and see if we have money for another sign,
Okay.
okay?
Yeah. And I forwarded out an email from Bob Bauerheit today too.
Yeah,
They just wanted to share with us what Parks and Rec signs look like, or
yeah,
in case we wanted to be cohesive at all. So I did put
I
them
saw
out there,
them.
so.
I looked at them.
well, I remember we had talked about that, and I thought it was on our matrix that we wanted all signs to kind of match in that, and they kind of look like our, well, they do look like the signs that we had for Roam Safely all summer.
Yeah,
But I did notice that they look very much like the Rome, Georgia signs. So they're very similar to that, but I would hope that we'd have more of a discussion through, because they would have to be permitted through Plan Commission
yeah,
too, so they kind of.
they haven't gone there yet, but yeah.
Yeah, but I would think we'd have more of a discussion as far as if they're gonna be wayfinding signs and they would match the park signs and,
Okay, well, and for the next, meeting then, can we put it on the agenda for, just to
Yeah.
follow up on that?
yeah, we'll see if there's
Yeah.
money in the budget and
Yeah.
if we even have money for that other sign on. Cause I don't recall if Jamie had put money in the budget for that sign now or not, and
I don't recall
that money
either.
would carry over to economic development, of course, and then there would be ways for us to even add more money to that if we were, cause there's money from, economic development from the state through Connect Communities and that we would get more funding, and we could add more funding to that as well. So, but let me find out,
Okay,
all right, and we'll
Great.
see, cause we would want those all to match, and I would,
at least
I'd
have
like to
some cohesiveness to it, yeah,
I would-
some,
yeah,
at least a logo or something, I don't know.
yeah, okay. You have to,
Is there copies of the draft sign on the Rome website or anything that residents can look at what they're submitting?
I don't know what they did with their signage, you'd have,
You said that you had just a copy was sent out of what draft is.
Yeah,
proposing for the
Parks and
town
Rec
center.
sent out to me, that's all I know is, I don't know where if they have it anywhere, if they've posted it anywhere or what, I don't know. I didn't make it to the last draft meeting since I was on vacation, so I'm afraid I don't know.
oh, draft did it too? Draft, or?
It was technically,
I thought they were draft away signs for the Rome Town Center, drafts.
as far as I know, it's Parks and Rec Department.
Well, I think they worked with draft on it.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't-
Is the park and rec signs out there on the Rome website or anything for citizens to see what they look like, what they're proposing? No.
No, because Parks and Rec worked with Visit Rome, I guess. He didn't,
Didn't really say, I'm afraid I don't know, I didn't attend the,
Okay.
he just wanted us to see what they were thinking about going to planning commission with it, so that he could see what,
they're gonna need sign permits and everything
Yeah.
else, so they,
Yeah.
they just,
it's a long ways away.
Yeah,
but-
they're on like step 3
Yeah.
of 1,000.
Uh-huh.
yeah. The first thing, I gotta make sure everybody likes them, I think, so, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so.
All right. if there's
But
no-
we'll find out about the directional sign for
Yes.
Alpine, that's.
Find that out for me and we'll.
Yeah, because we
discuss
saw
with the
that.
next one.
I mean, they
It was gonna be a mini version of our big sign
Yeah.
out on the,
Yeah, without businesses listed, just that Rome Town Center.
but then again, now that we're having this conversation, you know, the Rome Town Center sign is its own animal, so with that in mind, if we're gonna do wayfinding and we're gonna do park signs, I think we might want an overall direction from, cause Parks and Rec is advisory to the town board,
Yes.
just like we are, just like Plan
Yes.
Commission, so I would think that that direction needs to come from somewhere.
Are these signs gonna be lit? I mean, are they going, I mean, you would think at night, because you know, if it gets, you have things going on and
Solar light maybe would work.
some sort of lighting has to be on these signs, I mean.
Don't know what they have in mind.
Don't know.
Maybe we bring that up at town board.
All right,
All right.
all right, thank you. All right.
What did she say?
neon.
I want neon.
Flashing
You
neon
and your
lights.
lights.
I know.
I'd hate to see the inside of your house.
Ooh, disco lighting.
Ah.
All right.
Uh-huh, all right. All right, so then, our next meeting is gonna be February 1st, 2024 at 3:00 PM here in the Rome Municipal Building. Meeting is adjourned.
All right. And send your ideas to,